Nielsen Ratings is a show just for you. We talk film, TV, both old and new. We discover new things, our taste get broader. So here's the show's host in no particular order. He's a little rough, he's a little caustic. Everybody knows the most, the one and only toxic. From way up top, you'll find another the start. He forgot to press like when he used StreamYard. Stupenzolicious gonna judge you on your sense of cool by asking you what's your favorite Mexican food. He shouldn't tell secrets, but you know that he can. It's the Hollywood goss from the inside man. One balance who sometimes drinks cappuccino. Everybody thinks he looks like Quentin Tarantino. So come on in and join the Nielsen Ratings. It's a show that you've all been anticipating.
Teams have just left the field here, taken away by referee Ray Lewis. The trouble away to our left, where there's a packed enclosure of Liverpool supporters. 2.5 minutes after the match started, they really came over the top of the fence. Away to the left at the moment, there must be some 100 or 200 people on the pitch. An ambulance has just come into the stadium and it's making its way through a vast crowd of people away to the left. There would seem to be, from where I'm sitting here, dozens of people now lying on the ground and being attended to by police and St John's ambulance. I saw 2 oxygen cylinders being carried down the touchline just below us minutes ago. Some of the people at the back, understandably through sheer fear, are trying to climb their way up into the upper tier once more. I've now seen 15 stretchers carrying bodies away, alive I must stress, and at the moment they've been ripping up some advertising boards because they've run out of stretchers. They're being used at the moment to take people away to the left, the corner flag. I see for the last 10 minutes a nurse has what I think been giving a kiss of life to one young fan who looks in deep distress.
Alongside me, I've got Dr. Glyn Phillips.
There was one chap I went to, he was...
So those were scenes from the BBC's report of Hillsborough, which was 36 years ago today. The biggest national disaster tragedy in English football to take place on UK soil, or indeed anywhere where the UK is concerned. 96 fans lost their lives on the day. A 97th fan, Tony Bland, was basically in a coma for many, many years. Ultimately, I think there was a legal case over getting his life support switched off, so now it's known as the 97. It was a huge and prolonged justice campaign to bring those responsible for causing the disaster, which really was at the hands of several senior police officers of South Yorkshire Police. There's been dramas made about it. There's been documentaries. There's some particularly good documentaries on YouTube, which you can see for free. I will drop them now. We did a Hillsborough special. I think it was this time last year, because I think I've just published the play. For those people that don't know, I did a play about Hillsborough way back in 1997. It was the first play that I'd ever written myself. It wasn't the first time I directed, but it was the first time I'd written and directed a show, I guess, and kind of produced it. I had a little bit of help from a couple of people, but really we didn't have any funding. Sounds like a familiar story, and it's a very rough round the edges play, but I just thought it was about time I published it, because it was the first one I ever did. So that came out this time last year. It's currently on Amazon, and when the play was on, we made it into the local paper, and myself and the cast had this picture taken of us, and there we all are. That's me on the left with huge glasses. On my right is actor Mitchell Lewis, who some people would know from Rise of the Foot Soldier. I think all of the cast that were in this picture, I think everybody is still around, as far as I know. I'm not in touch with everybody, but Danny, who is at the back in this photo, Danny Taylor, who's a fantastic actor, does a incredibly great one-man show about a number of topics. He was at Hillsborough. He was up in the stands pulling people up out of the crowd, so he was there. So for him to do this play for me was a massive decision, and I'm so glad he did it. And it really made quite a close bond between everybody. It was a very special experience doing this show because, of course, we met so many of the families who lost either a son or a daughter, or in one case, two daughters, at the ground that day, fathers and sons. And, you know, it was, and you can watch 2 dramas about it. There's one called Hillsborough, which was made in 1996, which everybody on the panel has seen because we all watched it last year. Then there was a second drama told from the point of view of Hillsborough Justice campaigner Anne Williams, who I also met. I've got a photograph of me and her together somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it, annoyingly. And she particularly campaigned on behalf of her son, Kevin Williams, who was 15. He died at the ground, sadly. And she was trying to get the time of his death changed, which was really quite key to the case. And she took it to the Court of European Rights, and various other things happened. So it's been a really long and difficult campaign for everybody that's been involved. There has been some resolution. They're still trying to get a Hillsborough law passed to sort of stop these kinds of things from happening again. Whether we'll see that come to fruition under Keir Starmer's rule is another thing. I won't get into the politics of that because we don't do that on this channel. But I do think as first-class pieces of drama, these are 2 shows that we've talked about before, so we're not going to get into them at length. We have covered this before, but these are 2 shows that I think my panelists would also wholeheartedly recommend. So you have the most recent one is 2022, so it's not that long ago, starring Maxine Peake as Anne Williams. My friend Stephen Walters is actually in this drama as well. He plays her husband. And you've got a number of other actors like Bobby Schofield, who we've recently seen in, of course, the drama about We Own This City. He's got a role in that. There's Stephen Walters, who's also in We Own This City, and he's particularly good in this show. So it's well worth, if you haven't, that's the real Anne Williams with her children. If you haven't seen Anne, you can catch that on ITV Player, and if you don't have access to ITV Player, you can go elsewhere. The original movie was very easy to find on YouTube, which is Hillsborough, which came out in 1996. This is the one that inspired me to write the play in the first place and take on this topic. And it was seeing this movie changed my whole life, because as a Southerner, we were kind of fed a certain line of press about who was responsible and what happened, and it was all sort of, the narrative was all shaped to blame it on football hooligans, which was actually complete nonsense. And so my play follows 2 families on the day, mate. It's called Waiting for Hillsborough. It's two families. One's a working class family and one's a sort of middle class family. They're both from Liverpool, and it's interspersed by sort of monologues from different people who were there, and also from Justice Taylor's report, who is the guy who did the report into Hillsborough, and he laid the blame of it at the police's door. This was the official report at the time, you know. So he wasn't shy about calling out, who was responsible in that regard. This is the copy of the play when it arrived last year. And there was one family in particular called the Glovers who really took me in. They lost a son at the game, and then the second brother actually was killed in an accident some years later. But they took me under their wing, and they put me up when I went to Liverpool. They were very vocal in their support of the play, and when not everybody was, and I was forever grateful to them for that. And it really taught me a lot about the people from Liverpool and what an amazing city it is and how amazing families are there. So, yeah, I just go to each of my panelists. And I know most of you have seen the two shows concerned. Inside Man, you got anything you want to chip in first?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, seeing that footage at the beginning, I think it's incredibly hard to watch.
It is, isn't it?
I mean, it's
very hard.
It's very, very sobering. But it brings everything home, and I think with the dramas, the way they were executed, I think that first Hillsborough one was Jimmy McGovern, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
who is one of our greatest writers, I think. Truly
so.
a magnificent writer. I mean, he really writes for the underdog. He really, really does. And but when I first saw that, it just, I mean, you said, quite rightly, I think, the words you saying, it changed my life. It's very much a life-changing experience watching something that's so visceral, and it is visceral.
Yeah.
You can, it's like your guts are being pulled out. It really is. And I don't think any other writer could have done that in such a condensed space of time. And this is the beauty of great script writers. I mean, they will have they have to condense such an enormous amount of information into such a short space, into 110 pages, and that's an immense task. And with a master of the craft like Jimmy McGovern, to have done this and to have given every single beat and every single emotion of the events and of the families. I mean, again, I've said it before about a previous show that we've talked about. It's difficult to say that you've ever seen anything like this. It's I think it's one of the finest pieces of television that's ever been produced. Full stop. There are few that would come even close to it.
Yeah,
I think it absolutely honoured the 96 and now 97 and their families. It really did, and it just pushed the subject, and it pushed the subject, and it made it relevant. It kept it relevant, and you can tell there's a lot of tears that actually went into the writing of this script, and I should imagine that he was torn to shreds when he was writing it. It must have been an incredibly difficult task.
Charles McDougall, who directed the film, he was there as well. He was another one who was up in the stands.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I know he found it very cathartic, but also quite traumatic to make the film.
But we remember this. We remember when this happened. I was watching this. It was an FA Cup tie. And I was watching this, and again, it's one of those things that you couldn't believe what was actually unfolding, and obviously the absolute disgust that I think everyone feels now towards the Sun newspaper. I mean, it doesn't sell in Liverpool at all.
No, it doesn't. That's right.
And it doesn't matter whether you're, the red side of Liverpool or the blue side of Liverpool. It makes no difference. People in Liverpool, just they will not buy this rag, this awful hack rag, because of how they labelled these people. These young, many of them children. The way they labelled them. It's. But I think that this is something that needs to be spoken about continuously, because the memory of these people, they've got to live on.
Yeah.
And these dramas assist that in such a wonderful way. But they keep our minds ticking over, and our hearts ticking over, just constantly knowing that these things did happen. We can't forget them. We cannot forget the injustice that was done to these people, and how long it took, and the fights that all of these families had to go through, the hard, grueling fight that they had to try and see justice for their loved ones. I think that both of them are magnificent pieces of work, particularly the Jimmy McGovern one. Wonderful.
Thank you very much for that very frank and honest perspective. Northern, I think you watched both of these as well when we did the thing last year. Just a quick summary, if you may.
Yeah, I don't know if I can elaborate anything new, but these are both very powerful dramas, both done in different ways, where you have the 1996 one being about a bunch of families who are affected by this whole tragedy. But then you got this other one based on Anne, played by Maxine Peake, who is just always good. I don't think I've ever seen her put a foot wrong in any of her performances.
She's a phenomenal actress.
Yes, she is. She can play anything. She can. She's a chameleon.
Yeah.
But this is about one family this time, and this time it's set over the course of 4 episodes. But while Hillsborough was made in 96, where the innocence still wasn't proved, and don't know what that was, but anyway.
Squeaky door somewhere.
I'm sorry, that was me speaking.
But please continue.
All right, Critter. How are you doing, man?
Continue, Northern.
Yeah, well, you got the benefits of seeing the multiple families' perspectives on the 1996 one. You do get a bit more of an added bonus where it kind of goes a bit more further into the timeline with.
Yeah, it's much more up to date.
Yeah,
and there's more stuff that comes out that wasn't known at the time, that the 1996 and you get a lot more perspective from the whistleblowers and people like that, and the rough time that they had, which is, I think, is very important to include.
It also kind of shows just how much our media just looks down upon us and will happily feed us to the wolves if they need to.
I don't think we've seen the last dramatisation on Hillsborough. I think there will, and I think there should be another one, and I think it should be like a proper series. I'm talking, a whole season, 10 episodes, 10 45 50-minute episodes, which should follow every aspect of the case. And it would be really interesting if you had a whole episode, told from the point of view, for example, of the police cover-up and things like that. I mean, it would be so daring for a channel to a platform to fund a production like that. But I mean, it's begging to be made, because there's so Anne and the two productions we've had barely scratched the surface. There's an amazing documentary which covers how it is that the Duckenfield, who's the guy that fucked up on the day, how he ended up being in charge of the game in the first place. He wasn't even supposed to be there. And it was only because of this hazing ritual that happened with these other two policemen, that this other person who wasn't directly involved in those events, but he basically got moved out of his command. So he would have been the more experienced officer that would have actually been in charge on the day, whereas Duckenfield hadn't. He had no experience of working at this ground previously. He hadn't policed a match at this ground before. He'd rarely been in command of an entire football match before.
Yeah, well, that's how you succeed today. Just be a completely incompetent, corrupt sociopath or psychopath, whatever, and you'll get your rewards.
I think we will see more exploring Hillsborough in future. And I mean, until the Hillsborough law is implemented, if it keeps it in the press, as far as I'm concerned, it's a good thing. Stupenza, I remember when we talked to you last year as the lone American on the panel at that time, I sort of made you sit down and watch both of these things.
You were confusing me with Blue Collar Loser. I was not on that show.
Oh, were you not on? Was that Blue Collar Loser? Okay.
No.
So have you seen either of these now?
No.
Okay. All
My
right.
bad.
Add them to your list. That's all right.
So Kenzo, it wasn't you that was waking up in the random car park. Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, yeah. So believe it or not, that was Blue Collar. I know that doesn't sound like him. But that was true.
All right. So I've got two other guests here, but I didn't specifically task them with watching these shows. Toxic, have you ever seen it?
No, I'm sorry, Lance. If it's not something I would usually look at, I have to rely on you to tell me to watch it, and then I watch it. So,
no, which is fair enough. I do highly recommend both of them, though.
I will take a look
because I know you do like your true story dramas, and these are as hard.
I actually don't. I like to keep the girlfriend happy, and the girlfriend likes the true story dramas more. So,
well, there you go. So, good reason to watch them. Have some hankies handy. Critter, dare I ask if you've seen either of these?
No, I didn't. But as you guys were discussing it, I hit IMDb, and my God, how horrifying! And of course, it reminds me of other past events. Not so much at sporting events, but just when human beings panic. Whether it's a subway or, I mean, maybe to an extent 9/11. And even when I worked in Chicago, we'd have these fire drills, and just even a fire drill, if someone wasn't notified, there'd be this ridiculous panic where no matter how much planning you put in place, it literally becomes every man for himself. And, you know, you've seen plenty of news footage like at a subway or a sporting event when people try to panic and rush past each other. But now I'm also hearing there was like some cover up and incompetence by police and whatever authorities, and that just makes it sound even more horrifying.
Yeah, well, I highly recommend both of these. Also, check out the documentaries on YouTube. There's loads of them. There's a great episode of Panorama that's also available to watch free on YouTube. No one's done a Heysel Stadium disaster drama. No, they haven't. And the key people that were at fault there, by the way, were the people that not only constructed and ran that ground. That ground was an absolute death trap. Like, all the concrete was crumbling, didn't have proper fences. I mean, I could talk to you about it. Funnily enough, I addressed the Heysel Stadium disaster in my play. There's a whole scene where two of the characters have a massive argument about it, and one of them was there. So I had to research Heysel as part of researching Hillsborough, and I spoke to a number of people who were at Heysel on both sides of the teams that were playing. So I consider myself fairly educated on that topic. Okay, I think there's probably nothing else to say other than shout goes out to the Hillsborough Justice Campaign, the 97, and may you never walk alone. Okay, so having got the serious stuff out of the way, we're going to move on to comedy film of the week.
Oh God.
Well, a new version of Die Hard dropped on our screens the other day, and listen, I don't mind Die Hard clones. I mean, basically, to explain what a Die Hard clone is, it's a scenario where a number of bad guys / terrorists / corrupt police / military force take over a specific target building, institution, ship, boat, oil rig, etc., whatever it may be, bank, and one key character is primarily responsible for foiling their plans. In other words, it's a contained action picture set within predominantly one setting.
Under Siege. What's one of my favorite Die Hard clones is Shannon Tweed and Andrew Dice Clay in No Contest, where it's a bunch of terrorists taking over a beauty pageant. Hey. And Shannon Tweed is like some kind of martial arts expert fighter actress.
Yes, she is.
And she they put explosive collars on all the models, and Andrew Dice Clay is like the main terrorist, and he's Andrew Dice Clay, and it's just insane. And Shannon Tweed is like running around the hallways, beating up people and killing all the bad guys. And another good one was when Michael Richards was like, they were doing like a Die Hard spoof in Airheads, where he's running around.
Oh yeah, Airheads.
Yeah,
I saw that at the cinema. I'm so intrigued by No Contest, which I think I did watch. I feel we should watch the trailer. Let's have a look.
The world's most beautiful women.
Who will be the new Miss Galaxy? It's time to find out.
The underworld's most violent killers.
Sorry, guys, you need a pageant pass to get backstage.
It's a turn ugly.
Oh yeah, Robert Davi.
Yeah, Robert Davi.
My colleagues and I will now retire to the penthouse, where I will make clear my demands.
It's a case of innocent hostages wired for death.
Each of these devices contains an explosive charge. If any of you leave the range of the other wristbands,
And a luxury high-rise hotel transformed into a towering high-tech hell.
Here we go, boppers!
Oh yeah, just stop it.
The hotel is mine.
You're way too much.
Explosives have been linked to the intruder alarm
I have to say, this looks
$10
pretty
million
awesome.
in diamonds will
Way
be
better
delivered to
than
this
the one
building,
we're about
or
to
a new
talk
Miss
about, I'll tell you
Galaxy
that
will
much.
be elected by process of elimination.
Oh, like the miniature
Now
tower
the
there.
terrorists have run
This
into
is
the one
actually a
thing
really
they
good
didn't
movie.
count
I don't know
on.
why
A
it
lady
gets
who
hate.
knows that a woman's place is in your face.
Run the thread over the.
A woman's place is in your face. I mean, that's a classic. That
Yeah.
line should be on
They
the
got the
poster.
True
And
Lies
that's the line I
soundtrack.
agree with.
I
Hickory
mean,
dickory dock, I'm gonna blow up this stock.
is that one of the lines?
No,
Oh God, I don't know. I've never seen this.
should be.
Yeah,
No
I'm sold.
Contest, starring Andrew Clay, Robert Dovey, and Shannon Tweed. I didn't actually have that on the list, but I feel it's now topic ripe for discussion. Who's going to watch that?
Oh,
I know.
I've seen it.
I know. Me and some ladies are gonna watch that soon. So for
You and
action
some
movies.
ladies.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel
Yeah,
maybe
you gonna
should
put anything
live
around their
stream that.
necks?
Yeah, if they stop watching.
Inside Man, what makes you think that he doesn't keep his ladies with a bomb around their necks at all times?
Yeah.
You sit and watch this.
Stupenzo, what would you give that movie out of 10?
Oh, it's a solid 7. It's so bad, it's amazing. This other movie was it wasn't even that bad. It was just very meh. The one we're about to talk about.
Let's not talk about G20 just yet. I'm not done with this one. So
this was kind of dope.
Yeah, this is kind of dope. Tweed provides a kick. Clay provides the ham. By straight to video standards, this is above average.
It is
garbage, but at least it's spiced up garbage.
Right. Yeah.
Could have been trash, funny, but not supposed to be. I don't know. There's a couple of 2 out of 10s there. Witty, well acted, and surprisingly well thought out. More of a thriller drama than action. Is that accurate?
I think that means that, like, yeah, they definitely, couldn't have the movie be action packed for budget reasons.
Yeah.
So
Dice Clay really dialed his bullshit down in that one. I remember him actually being like a pretty decent villain.
Well, he tried to do the Ford Fairlane thing, and that did not do well. So
his over the top stuff is over the top, but when he dials back the Dice Man bullshit, he's actually pretty scary.
I actually liked Ford Fairlane.
I love Ford Fairlane.
Everybody loves Ford Fairlane, but it is a cheese fest.
Will everyone sing "Booty Time" with me?
Booty time, booty time.
Across
booty
the
time.
USA. All right.
Okay, I'm getting lost now. I feel we're losing focus.
I wanted to throw out another bad. I watched The Cleaner. We don't have to talk about that, but there's also the 1990s Skyscraper with Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah,
which I'll admit I've never seen it, but now I kind of want to see it along with this other one.
She gets really naked in it, so it's.
I think we actually talked about that on this channel before. I think Stupenzo brought it up. I guarantee
you
it
can't be thinking of the Rock version.
Oh, the Rock. Yes. He did one
the
too.
Rock version is Die Hard meets Towering Inferno, and it could have been good.
Skyscraper with the Rock is also another Die Hard clone.
Yeah, it is, but it's just not good. Yeah, they use the building in LA as the other building in LA that's tall, the one that gets blown up in Independence Day.
And
Okay, so
this one got 3.1 out of 10 on average. The Skyscraper with Nicole Smith got 3.1 rating.
I'm definitely gonna watch this.
okay, so before we get it, we get into Women Get It Done G20. I want to know, first of all, is there anyone on the panel who hasn't seen it?
I have not seen this.
I have not seen it.
Bro, I watched this and The Woman King back to back the other day.
There you
and
go.
This one made The Woman
Trooper.
King look like high art.
Yeah, you are now partially African American just for doing that.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Viola Davis, Academy Award winner, as the poster claims. 20 nations,
19
captives,
one
hope.
So
all right, well, let's
hope. It's an Obama reference, man. It's like the subtle. They're not even subtle with the programming, you know.
So for those people who haven't seen it, Viola Davis plays a black female president. This movie was made about 2 years ago. It starts off with there's an escape from the White House that turns out to be her daughter escaping, who's played by Marcy Martin, who's not a bad actress actually, and we see her there. And so as a result of the children being unruly, well, the daughter, the children are brought with her to the G20 summit in South Africa. Most of this production, I think, in fact, all of this production was shot, from what I can tell, I think most of it was shot in South Africa. At the G20, a number of suspicious people arrive as subcontract security people. Why you would want to subcontract your security for one of the most important world meetings in history is a debatable plot question of itself. But Anthony Starr is in charge of the subcontracted security people, and of course they all turn out to be terrorist types and decide to take over the G20 meeting and then they try to bring down the world economic status by inflating the value of crypto and then also broadcasting all these deep fake videos of the various people that they've captured. Meanwhile, the president escapes, gets rid of her high heels, partly rips her red dress, and runs round with a machine gun. I will say, Viola Davis, I met on the tube once, and she's not a tall lady, but they've made her look really tall in this. She's really buffed up for this role. I mean, she's proper ripped in this film. And there she is, looking a little bit different. So yeah, I mean, it's an action, it's an action picture with minimum intelligence required, and there are some action scenes in it. I want to point out one character before I go to my panel to hear their resounding praise for this movie. If we can just go to the cast for a second. So her chief of security, or her main kind of personal bodyguard, is Agent Manny Ruiz, who's played by Ramon Rodriguez. And I was amazed that they kept his character in the film as long as they did, because he primarily, I mean, he's really badass in the film, and he's the one who stops her from being killed on about 3 or 4 different occasions. So, I mean, it really shouldn't just be her with a machine gun as the main kind of character. It's he's very much kind of key to her being alive. Douglas Hodge is an absolute very kind of, I'm just going to take the piss out of Tony Blair here, British Prime Minister, and he has a lot of fun with that role. Elizabeth Marvel's a really good actress. She's really in a nothing part in this, but she's a great actress. I've seen her in many other things. I don't think there's anyone else I like Clark Gregg as an actor who plays the vice president. He's been in loads of stuff. I think he's a great actor. This is directed by Patricia Riggin, and it's got 3 writers on it, no less. And I feel, Anthony Anderson plays her husband. People will remember him from The Shield. and he plays one of the best villains, if not the best villain in The Shield. Patricia Riggin, who directed this, here she is. She is one of America's leading female Latinx directors. Latinx, is that a thing? Is that not?
No,
It
but I'm
is.
trying to make
A lot
it
of
a
it
thing
is
for like
like
5 minutes in America. It was like
and the Latin community does not like it. Apparently,
It's not.
no,
a
the Latin community hates it.
So it should just be Latina directors.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what else has she done? She's got 19 directing credits. She's done Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Little America,
Sesame
Alaska.
Street.
Oh, she did 2 episodes of Dope Sick. Now that is one of the, I will say, that's one of the best television series ever made. If you haven't seen Dope Sick, honestly, that show, you can catch it on Disney Plus. It's amazing. 3 episodes of Jack Ryan. So not loads of feature films, but some pretty high end TV and some action. So she has done action before. Can't say she hasn't done action.
I'm tending to think, I'm sorry if this sounds really, really awful, but I'm tending to think that she's brought in on these shows as maybe a token director.
What?
I mean,
you racist, chauvinist.
No. It's this is unfortunately. I know that sounds absolutely awful.
Hollywood
but-
would never do that.
Yeah.
Let me just finish the right. I'm curious to see the 3 writers here. So we have 3 writers on this film. Caitlin Parrish, who predominantly her main credits are 30 episodes of Supergirl. She's also done The Red Line, Twilight of the Gods, which was a pretty good show. Under the Dome, not a bad show. So I would say an experienced writer who's definitely ready to do a feature film and probably could have done one earlier. So let's Erica Weiss, who has done not a lot. 8 episodes of The Red Line, so probably a buddy of the other writer who also worked on The Red Line, and G20. So this is her first feature film gig. She's probably going to be the least experienced of the 3. Logan Miller, who has 5 writing credits. Sweet Vengeance, which is a now that is, it was renamed as Sweetwater. If you haven't seen this Western, this is absolutely cracking. First class. Good. Yeah, really good film. Jason Isaacs and Ed Harris at their absolute best. January Jones is brilliant in it. It's just a really good Western that almost no one has seen. I highly recommend it. I give it a 9 out of 10 personally.
Yeah,
the scene where he's carving into the table is just write that down. Sweet Vengeance or Sweetwater if you haven't seen it. So he wrote the screenplay for that. That is a really good movie. So I think he might have been the first writer that came in on this, and maybe then you had the 2 other writers brought in. Who knows?
2 female writers brought in just to keep him in check. Yeah,
could be. That could have been it.
Yeah,
that could have been it.
And,
I didn't want to say
it. Again, we have. See, look, we know how things work. If we can't let men have too much control. We must have some kind of tokenism involved in there. To show that we are, giving everybody a chance. Everybody is on equitable terms. And tokenism has never worked. And I will absolutely guarantee you, in 10 years' time, you will never see this director again. You will never see those other 2 writers again, because this tokenism is fading away. It's starting to go. It's starting to dissipate and dissolve.
Well, to be fair to one of the writers, she's got a pretty established career in episodic television.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the face of it, that sounds very, very good. The only problem with that is that we know now the way shows are produced, that people are brought in by the showrunner and they are told what to write. So they're not necessarily responsible. They're responsible for putting the words on the page, but they're not responsible for structuring those words on the page.
Yeah,
and that's where there's a problem.
Let me turn to my. I'm not going to give my rating on this yet. Let me turn to, and I don't want anyone to give their rating yet. I just want you to give me your thoughts initially. So Blue Collar Loser for $2. I'm not here because I'm seeing The Accountant 2 tonight. I'm excited. I'm as excited as I was when I saw G20. The rest of that you couldn't see, but he typed that to me personally. So yeah, Northern. I made you sit down and watch this. You sent me an interesting meme after you'd experienced it. I might pull that meme up in a sec.
Please.
But tell me, you know, I mean, does it work as a simple kickback, have some beers, nonsense action picture?
For a bad movie night, definitely, because this movie is a fucking miracle. Words cannot describe how insane, condescending, patronizing, deluded, and smug and downright incompetently made this movie is.
Wow, that almost sounds like a script for a video that you're doing.
Yeah, well, I've actually got the review right in front of me, so it's helping.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah, the cue was he didn't say the F word 5 times right there in that sentence.
But she cannot convince in the fight scenes. I'm sorry. Viola Davis does have a strength to her as an actress, but it's kind of more like CCH Pounder in The Shield, where she doesn't need to be beating down people and shooting people in order to come across as someone who's strong-willed. But she's doing it, and she just looks like an old woman trying to take down men that are just allowing her to take them down.
Can I just ask you, can I just quickly ask a question? Is it white men that she's taking down?
Yes, every white guy on it is portrayed as either a traitor or a bloody terrorist or condescending cock like the Tony Blair kind of clone guy.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean, this is where
the traitors are all white as well. Now, do you know what?
Yeah. One of them actually had a go at it because she was she decided to put priority over foreign farms instead of domestic farmers, which, sorry, that's kind of a bit of an understandable motive, because if we're looking at what's happening to our farms at the moment, they are really getting slammed while all our money is getting pumped into other countries that are doing fuck all with them. So, that's I'm sorry, but I'm kind of cheering on the bad guys here. They want to prevent people from having their money regulated by a government digital currency and have it go into another one, but of course they got to put in the other plot line where he's basically just doing it for himself and it'll crash the market because, hey, anyone who's anti-globalist is evil, according to these people. And that's what this film is. It's a pure globalist pushing agenda movie. Yeah. And it's a very badly done one as well, because it's so obvious to see what the agenda is in this movie.
It's very stock. It's very stock, isn't it? It's very, literally just, let's grab these, this format off the shelf, and we'll do something with it. I mean,
and this film was written 10 years ago, by the way, maybe longer, because Viola Davis did not get the script until 2015. So this has been pretty much in production for 10 years.
Oh, right. Okay. So I see how it works now. So this script. So this script was optioned. It was brought up by the studio, and of course, it didn't fit a particular narrative. So that's why the 2 token female writers were brought in now, just to smarten the thing up. Now I see how it works. Duh.
Yeah, I mean, I will give some credit. There was one scene where she's getting choked out in the lift, and it is a little bit suspenseful, but
that was well done. That scene, I thought.
Yeah, that was the only one of the only few times I thought it was very convincing, and. But she takes these guys down like they're nothing, though. It's most of the time. I mean, there's even a part where she's got this guy. She's got this gun on this guy's neck, and she just breaks it, and it's just so laughably bad. It looks so staged. Is
she kind of right? So she's the president, yes?
Yes, she's the president.
So she's not a president who is I don't know, ex-special forces or
no. There is a backstory. She has served in the military. There's a famous scene of her carrying a girl out of a car bomb explosion or something in Afghanistan or Iraq or somewhere, and that's what got her on the election ticket. And so there's a plausible military background for her, which is not beyond the realms of movie. It's acceptable movie fiction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
the only thing that is wrong with it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it kind of contradicts
the line that she says, I have had to work twice as hard to get to where I am. And I'm like, yeah, this is a typical sort of like black female oppression kind of thing. You know, they've had to work 10 times harder because the system is full of white people who don't want black women to get ahead. It's so lazy. It really is.
Are you trying to say that it's not?
Well, the Guardian newspaper, which is for the benefit of our American friends, is the sort of newspaper that, you know, won't write pleasant things about your good president, and is generally considered to be a left-leaning publication. But
yeah, the proper champagne socialist, the Guardians.
Yeah, champagne socialist. Yeah, champagne socialist is a fair description. But this is their review of G20. Oscar winner plays a soldier turned world leader forced to fight back in Amazon's simple, serviceable star vehicle. And, you know, released 3 months after Trump's inauguration, was always going to have unavoidable resonance. While the shoot ended back in March last year, there must have been points during post-production process when those involved wondered if their film, a rousing story of a black female president in charge, would coincide with a similar, albeit less schlocky, real-world victory, but it wasn't to be. And then, you know, it's sort of... the summary of it is the action is serviceable enough, enjoyment-based, left on deftly staged choreography, and more on catharsis offered to Davis as president and actor. She's spoken in recent press about the pleasure and freedom the role has provided. The thrill it offers her doesn't always make its way to us, but there are worse ways to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Really?
I mean,
Jesus.
you know.
What is that? Does that mean injecting your eyeballs with bleach and then scooping them out with a rusty spoon?
Could be. Okay, Northern. So, I mean, was there anything else you wanted to say quickly before I ask my next panelists?
It's clumsy, it's dumb, it's pandering, it's smug, it loves the sniff of its own farts, but God, it's hilarious when it does, when it tries so hard to be so profound.
Yeah, there are some both funny and unintentionally funny moments in the film. I do like
everything's unintentionally funny.
I do like Olympus.
You've been too nice to it.
I'm going to say I rate Olympus Has Fallen. It's got the best attack on the White House action sequence ever. It's way better than White House Down, even though it's a Gerard Butler B movie. Essentially, it's a great B movie action film with battles in the White House. I like Olympus Has Fallen. I think it's good. It's one of the best kind of Die Hard clones out there. Okay, so Stupenzo.
Yeah, I think Luke's being a little too hard on it because it wasn't laughably bad. It was just kind of boring. Now the thing is, I guess if you'd never seen Die Hard or the hundreds of Die Hard clones, you'd be like, wow, this is, interesting. But it's all been done before. And the other issue is, yeah, it is a little condescending. It's definitely a lot of women talking up other women, and all the men are dummies, and all the black people are heroes, and all the white people are villains. But you know what's even worse about it though is I got to give it points because it turns out, spoilers, the Hillary Clinton parable woman, she actually ends up being evil, so that was cool. But yeah, it's very on the nose with the the propaganda. I mean, like the G20 summit is going to be in South Africa this year. They clearly thought Kamala Harris was going to be president by the time of this. And yeah, again, it's like they're trying to tell you about the dangers of deep fakes, because you don't want to think that, the people in charge are saying stuff that they obviously would never say. So it's all deep fakes. And then also, yeah, we want a currency that's backed by a corporate entity of some kind. You can't have deregulated currency like cryptocurrency. That's bad. It's just so stupid. But I think the biggest problem with the movie, this was the most offensive thing. It's these aerial external shots of the building. They're all like ridiculously computer animated for no stupid reason. Like they just can't get a shot of a building. like the ineptitude of the laziness, the over dependence on computer effects will just fix everything.
Yeah.
It's so abundant in this movie. Like so many things that should not, like, you would not think this movie would have hundreds of computer animated special effects shots, but it does. It has so many.
So many,
and
it's
they're
got
bad
loads.
looking too. They're shitty rendered.
Yeah.
Like there's like the movie ends with them looking at a fucking like a Pixar sunrise, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it looks like the end of the Matrix Revolutions when the architect and the Oracle are sitting on the bench, and it's like this extremely insane looking computer animated sunrise. It's just like, wow. But yeah, the biggest problem is like it's not so bad it's funny. It's just you know, so run of the mill and forgettable. Like I said, I watched The Woman King after that, and not only is The Woman King 40 minutes longer, but that is like really bad. And
yeah, I've seen it, and they conveniently erased all the history about that tribe where they would kill people, and
not even the historical inaccuracies aside, like the movie
Yeah.
itself, like this movie itself, like that's the other thing. Like, I mean, plot wise, like, yeah, again, I mean, nothing really glaringly wrong with it. But like, for instance, like I thought like the daughter is the rebellious one, right? She's running away. And then they say the little boy, the brother, it's like, your only friends are all cartoons. Like, I was like, okay, so he's going to be the computer nerd who knows how to hack the system, and she's going to be the one. No, the daughter does everything. And the little boy just
and the son is useless.
Yeah.
Why do they even have the
Surprise.
son? Like, just have one daughter, one character, you know? It's just, you know, it was just dumb. And also, yeah, Anthony Anderson, he's just the ultimate, you know,
stay-at-home dad,
first husband, you know, almost like, sits at the cuckold chair in the hotel room. Just one of those guys. I don't know, just very like all so important. All his whole job is to just support his wife and glow her up. And it's just like,
Can I just quickly say something, if you don't mind?
Will it be quickly, or will it be another?
It will be quickly. Right.
Okay.
Now
I have to hurry you.
Look, I liked Viola Davis, right? I'm using past tense, right? So I liked Viola Davis until on the red carpet, she said, "If you don't go and see this film, then you are part of the problem."
I am part of the problem, gladly.
You know what I mean? I just
not
thought,
wrong.
I thought, what on
No, didn't
earth?
she do a speech once where she said that writers know more about life than ordinary people, or something like that? Anyway, but
Wait a minute. If I saw it, does that mean I'm not part of the problem? Then I'm an ally now because I saw it and hated it. Does that count?
But it's this this whole kind of, you know, you must go and see my movie, because if you don't go and see my movie, you know, you really are a racist. You know, you really are misogynistic.
Well, she's one of them. She is. She's one of those elites.
I'm not surprised. But like, you know, I remember the first time I saw her was she has a bit part in Traffic. She's the one who's interviewing the high school student, you know, finding out that she's in all these extracurricular activities. She's like, you know, what are you doing here? She's like a counselor. And then she blew me away in Solaris, the 2002 remake. That's one of my favorites. But she's excellent in that movie. She's so
really good. She's
determined to find out what these manifestations are and destroy them, you know, and you never find out what her visitor is, you know. That's, you know, she's great in that one. And you know, she did the movie version of what was the Denzel Fences. She, you know, she's you know, that's the thing is like I think it's I don't know if they believe the shit they're saying, or they're just such good actors, like they're just being told, hey, this is what you're gonna say. This is the new narrative, you know, this is, you know, because I mean, why would she wouldn't really be opposed to it. It's like, hey, you're going to make more money and get more work. And, you know, no one's allowed to criticize you ever, basically, if you just toe the line and keep talking about these talking points. So it's kind of understandable why, you know, you'd kind of start supporting the narrative and enforcing this kind of talking points.
Yeah.
Either A, you don't believe it and you're just getting paid to do it, or B, you know, like they've actually through a series of yes manning and kind of just constant like encouragement and love bombing, they get you to, you know, they brainwash you.
All right, okay, I'll leave your comments there. Critter is the new guest tonight, and welcome to the Nielsen ratings. I think for the first time.
Second.
Wasn't it Late Night with Lancer? You were on the
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, so you first time on the Nielsen ratings.
I will be very quick. I did not see this. I did watch The Cleaner from, I guess, a mixed bag of feedback. I might put this on half watching as I do something else. I do like some of the cast, and I do like action sequences. So I might give this a shot. So I'm going
well, don't worry if you haven't seen it. That's fine. You don't have to have seen it. Okay.
I did sit through The Cleaner, and this sounds like something just as bland as that.
Aren't they both from Amazon? Or
yeah.
It's so
The Cleaner's the one with the Star Wars girl.
Correct.
Yeah, but you would think like, oh, maybe like Hulu made The Cleaner and Prime made this one, and maybe they're competing, and we got to pick which one. The fact that like you're just doing the same thing twice in like 2 or 3 months is like weird.
Well, I mean, don't forget that these were films that were shot. I think in the case of G20, it was almost 2 years ago. In the case of The Cleaner, again, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, which was at the real height of kind of, woke nonsense. And listen, I'm quite up for seeing an American female diehard White House down, but don't make it a black versus white thing. Don't make it a men versus women. Women are all amazing. Men are all cunts and crap and evil. Give us some realism. Give us some balance. Look at Die Hard
real quick. Do this, but imagine it's Donald Trump, parable president, and make fun of him. Like, be radical leftist, just shitting on Trump, but have this extremely fat old guy who's like, got a hairpiece and he's bumbling over himself and he's a misogynist and he still saves the day like Air Force One style, but it's all because of the help of like his cabinet and his security, but he gets all the credit. Like you could do
that could be, that would be a really fun movie, actually.
Yeah.
I suppose Campbell doing that.
I'd be like, dude, these guys hate Trump so much. It's awesome. I don't know. I think this is they need to change tactics because the whole Yas Queen thing is just so dumb. How about just like that the British Prime Minister type guy? He's a doofus, and he kind of comes around and realizes like, oh, you girls are badass. But at the beginning, he's just like a dumb misogynist. Like, just make the movie about him. Because you actually have the main character go through like a learning arc, and I don't know. That's how you do your propaganda. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we didn't get that movie, but I wish we had. Toxic. Very quickly, just your very quick thoughts on this because I want to move.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take the small amount of time. It actually wasn't that bad till the third act. None of that stuff bothered me. The virtue signaling and stuff, because in fact Trump did win. So if he hadn't, and we did have a madam president, I would have been really annoyed. But I mean, a lot of the things were just technical criticisms I would give to any action movie. It actually was good, and I agree with you. The head Manny, the head Secret Service jarhead guy, he really gave it a lot more believability. At least,
he gave it a bit of realism.
Yeah, and because he checked her a lot, and she went for it. So it wasn't until the third act when she starts double tapping. She double taps like 12 dudes in quick succession.
That sequence was ridiculous.
They just like walk into gunfire. I didn't think Anthony Anderson was bad at all. I didn't like Anthony Starr because I'm like, dude, you let him get out of pocket on your other Amazon TV series. Why don't you let him chew the scenery more and do some more? Why are you doing this? And then there was the weird thing about everybody just holding the gun sideways. I'm like, what are they trying to say right now? Like, how black are you trying to make this movie? Like, why is everyone holding their gun sideways? It's so weird.
Yeah,
like,
can we hold the gun sideways? Like in the hip hop videos.
Yeah,
all right.
Nobody would do that. But I had it on and I really thought it was going to be detestable, and it was just it was just like meh. It was meh. It was just meh. I can get why people would get so upset over some of the stuff because it is really pushing it, but yeah, I agree, the little boy's completely useless, and
he serves no function in the film whatsoever.
I just feel like why couldn't the Hillary Clinton-esque person, why couldn't she be a person of color? Why did they have to make her white? Like
Yeah.
that was like, and then they have that scene with the British ambassador and the Italian one and the indestructible. Like, dude, that car is not stopping rocket launchers and flipper, and those people would be dead for the rest. Like they would have been like pulp in that car, even if the car had made it.
Yeah.
So and I agree. Everything everyone has said so far, I pretty much agree with, but I didn't detest it that much. I thought, it's okay for what it is. I thought Agent Coulson was criminally underused. I mean, it's just a diehard ripoff. It's nothing that, I mean, it's exactly what you think it is. It's Michael Obama. If she were to come out and be a superhero, like this is the movie that they'll play on repeat if Michael Obama runs for office and wins in the next election.
All right. Well, let's and this is for the people in chat as well. If you have seen G20, give us your rating out of 10 for this movie. I'm going to rate this movie a 5. It's watchable, but it's watchable crap. Its realism is on the same level of realism as Invasion USA, except that Chuck Norris's abilities in that film are less overstated than the president's abilities in this. But I mean, if I had the choice of watching G20 again or Invasion USA again, I would be watching Invasion USA, which is definitely the more accurate of the two pictures. But it's a forgettable, stick it on with some beers and kick back. You will have forgotten it by the next day. On to the next thing. Trump is actually in the chat and has said, I give it a 0, like the failed women who have run against me.
Trump beats women, confirmed.
Yeah, so 5 out of 10 from me. Inside Man. Okay, that's a 0. Northern.
Maybe just a 3.
A 3 out of 10. Okay. Yeah, Critter, you haven't seen it. Lord of Tops.
I can't go any higher than a 3. Just it wasn't that bad, but it's no higher than a 3, certainly.
Okay. And Stupenzo last.
Yeah, it's like a 2 out of 5. So yeah, about a 3.
A couple of weeks back, you guys may recall that somebody in the chat said, have you guys seen Protection? And we wondered if that was the documentary about the invention of the condom, but it was not actually that. It was a new drama series, 8 parts from ITV, starring Siobhan Finneman. It's about a witness protection program that is compromised. A witness is killed in a very high-profile criminal case. Siobhan Finneman's lover is also one of the people taken out, and she's in a compromising position. She's got to kind of solve, who's responsible, who's the mole in her team, and she's been told to trust no one. So this was recommended to us quite strongly. We decided as a group to watch the trailer. I think this was 2 weeks ago. And it was only a few hours before the show that I suddenly remembered it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and cram in a couple of episodes. So I watched episode 1, and I've seen most of episode 2. And I would give this, I don't think anybody else has seen it before I give it a rating. Has anyone else seen it? So it's called Protection. It might be called Witness Protection in some countries. Okay, so just me. Inside Man, you haven't seen it, because I know you said you were going to check it out.
No, I've not seen it. I do apologise.
Okay, I'm definitely not eating a large sandwich, but no, I haven't seen it.
Not
Okay,
eating anything.
no, definitely I'm not eating a large sandwich.
But it's
it's
the sort
good.
of thing that I like this kind of thing, and yeah, I'm going to check this out. I will be watching this.
Okay, Rachel Percy Art has seen it. Oh, that reminds me, Stupenzo, could you get an industry interview thumbnail ready for Rachel Percy Art, because she's coming on the channel soon for an industry interview, and if you Google her, Stupenzo, you can get her artwork stuff up. So
Sure.
Use her artwork for the thumbnail, because I think the interview is going to be off camera. But
Sure.
we'll be talking to her as an independent artist and promoting her wares on the channel. So great. So Rachel, you should be able to see that thumbnail before the end of the show, because Stupenzo is pretty good at that sort of thing. Anyway, I recommend this show. I give it so far on the 2 episodes I've seen, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's had amazing reviews. The acting in it is absolutely first class. It's nice and tightly directed, quite economical in terms of the dialogue. Really good supporting cast, and I recommend it to my panel. If you like your cop dramas, your crime dramas, this is at the top of the tree. It's definitely a good one to check out. So yeah, comes with a strong recommendation from me. All right, so Inside Man, what have you got to recommend us this week?
Nothing Italian.
Okay. What Spanish film have you got to recommend us this week?
I thought what I would do is kind of delve into sort of an old British movie. One of my personal favourites. It's 100% in my top 10 greatest movies of all time, in my personal top 10.
Yeah.
And that would be Kind Hearts and Coronets, starring Dennis Price and Alec Guinness.
Great film.
I mean, it's one of Ealing's. In fact, I don't think it's actually an Ealing film. It may not be an Ealing comedy.
No, because I'm not sure. Ealing Studios, were they going by 1949?
Yes, they were. Yeah. I mean, they had things like Hue and Cry, which I think was 47.
Yeah, you might be right.
Passport to Pimlico, but this is a story of a young man played by Dennis Price called Louis Gascoigne, and his mother, she married for love. She was part of a well-known and noble family, or family of nobility, of aristocracy, and she marries for love rather than for social standing or for position. So she marries an Italian singer, and because of that, her family disown her. So she's sort of excommunicated from the family. She has no kind of designs on any form of wealth or anything like that. But what they do is they write her out of the line of succession in terms of the estate. And his Dennis Price, as his mother sort of grows slightly older, he loses his father, and his mother is she requires a pair of glasses, and she has no money, no means of income. So she writes to the Gascoigne family, who dismiss her letter out of hand. She asks for money to educate her son, and they don't recognize him as part of the family.
That's Obi-Wan Kenobi in the middle for people who haven't recognized him. Yeah.
So essentially what happens is she gets hit by a tram because she couldn't afford a pair of glasses, and she passes away, and he decides that on his mother's deathbed that he's going to avenge his mother's death and work his way back into the Gascoigne family in order to secure his place within the estate, and so that he becomes the heir to the country pile and the title, which he is actually entitled. So by doing so, he has to eliminate all of the other people that are the current heirs, the heir presumptives and heir apparents and everything to the family pile. So he goes about it in a very, very funny, very typically British way, just killing off each member of the family one by one by, very, very odd means. And it's a beautifully shot film.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in forever. I definitely need to see this again. Has anyone else on the panel seen it? Want to comment quickly?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Inside Man, rating out of 10.
Oh, this is an absolute 10. I mean, Dennis Price is just is just wonderful in this. And Alec Guinness, I think, playing what, 8 different parts.
Yeah, he plays a lot of different parts, doesn't he? He
Yeah,
played the old
from
mother and all kinds of things.
yeah, from a suffragette to a young, a young whippersnapper to a crusty old general. And it's got a very, very interesting outcome. It's a lovely film. It's a lovely film.
Yeah. So okay, well, Kind Hearts and Coronets, I'd give it a 9 myself. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I know it's an amazing film. So that's a strong recommendation from us. Northern, give me one of your picks for today.
I think I'll pick Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which seems to have had a lot of people, but I think it's a very fun movie. I mean, yeah, Kevin Costner's maybe a bit too American to be playing Robin Hood, but he still handles the action pretty well. He comes across as a very convincing leading man, and it's just a downright fun movie with Alan Rickman being one of the best villains.
Yeah, I mean, he completely steals the film.
Yeah. I think what was interesting about that was when Alan Rickman was given the role, and he had all of his he had his script, and he met up with one of his friends, his very, very good friend, Ruby Wax, and they sat down in a cafe in London just going through the script, and she rewrote all of his lines. So all of the great lines that Alan Rickman has is down to Ruby Wax.
Right. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that story. Yeah, Rachel Percy Art says Alan Rickman ruined the role for anyone else. It's true. You can get into that. You can get into that with us when you come to your interview. So I have to say, good pick, Northern. I was at the opening night of this. It was at the Warner West End, Leicester Square, wasn't it? One or the other. So it was in Screen 5, which was the one with THX sound. And one of the things that the press actually agreed to do when they had the press screening was they said to everybody at the press, we want to keep the surprise at the end of the movie a surprise from the public. So please don't mention it in your reviews. Don't discuss it with anyone. We're asking you this as a personal favor. And this was one of the times where the press actually kept their trap shut. So when Sean Connery turns up at the end, there was a massive audible gasp from the screening that I was in. I still have my ticket for this screening.
Yeah. Pretty cool as well, because Connery actually played Robin Hood back in the 70s, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Audrey
Hepburn, wasn't it?
Robin and Marion, which is a
Audrey
pretty
Hepburn.
decent movie.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, even Christian Slater was in. Kind of gets let off for his bad English accent, while Kevin Costner gets the worst of it.
Kevin Costner is in this film. He's good in the role, but it's like you can tell which scenes were shot first because he's trying to do a British accent, and then
it kind of goes back and forth, doesn't he? Eventually, he gives up and he goes back to being a fucking cowboy Robin Hood.
Yeah, he just basically gives up. There's a couple of things about this film. So first of all, this was a massive sell through on videotape, but they cut it for violence. So the scene where Alan Rickman does the funny thing where he leaps his feet into the air and then spreads the legs of Mary Mastriano just at the end where he's trying to impregnate her, which is very comical when you see it.
Yeah.
They cut that, which makes that scene not comical, which was really weird decision.
Yeah.
And then there were also like when the guy gets his nose broken and he's smashed across the face, and then later you see him with the bent helmet. Well, they cut the scene where he got his nose broken in the video. So when the video came out, if you hadn't seen the film at the cinema, you didn't understand why he had this broken helmet. For the trailer, there was also a chase scene with the cart, and you saw Costner jump off the roof of the cart and into the lake. That sequence was never in the UK movie release, but in the widescreen edition of the film, which was released later, it is in the film. So there's about 3 different cuts of this movie that exist. In the anniversary DVD edition, the full version of the film is restored with all of the scenes that were cut, including the massive subplot about Spanish mercenaries and Alan
Yeah.
paying off all the other people. All of his
You really
extra
didn't
scenes.
need that scene, to be honest. It just interrupts the pacing.
I mean, I liked it because I'm quite happy to have any extra time with Alan Rickman. It's fine with me.
Aren't you glad that we have these gatekeepers of morality that keep us all safe?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, and this was filmed in Burnham Beaches, wasn't it? Inside Man.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually on the other Robin Hood at the time. We were shooting in tandem.
You were on the one with Danny Webb.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Patrick Bergin Robin Hood.
That film's terrible, man.
Yeah,
that's the thing, though, because it does feel like a more realistic Robin Hood. Well, this is a little bit more adventurous, which, to be honest, is a lot better because there's a real sense of adventure here as well.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's a movie.
Yeah,
it feels very old school as well. It's got that old swashbuckling, kind of harks back to the old Errol Flynn Robin Hood a little bit as well.
Yeah. And I think it's got one of the greatest movie soundtracks of all time. I think Michael Caine's score for the,
I mean, I think that might have been one of the first movie soundtracks I really enjoyed as a kid. This made me realise just how great music could be in movies. Because I was really young when I first saw this. Maybe one of the few movies I just rewatched so many bloody times as a kid. It's brilliant. Michael Caine, man.
That's right, guys. Yeah, I've got the CD.
Yeah, it's great.
It is a good soundtrack, although we did have to
I remember being as a kid just running around the playground going da 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 da. It stays with you. It really does.
It really is.
So Alan Tompkins, the late Alan Tompkins, who there is an interview with him on the channel. It's the last interview he ever gave when he was alive. Was a good friend of mine. And he was the art director on Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And the castle that is in the main battle at the end, that was built on the back lot. I can't remember if it was Pinewood or Shepperton. I think it was probably Pinewood.
I think it was Shepperton because we were shooting
was it Shepperton?
Pinewood. Yeah, I believe it was.
I'm going to pop my camera on briefly because let me just go for solo layout here. So this is the memorial brochure to celebrate the life of Alan Tompkins, where I gave the main speech at this. Very proud to have been asked to do that. And this is Alan on the set of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So that is the castle set. That's him. You've got all these fantastic pictures of him on various productions. The first thing he worked on was Cleopatra. There he is designing the bridge set for Bridge Too Far. And of course, he also designed all the gun turrets for Empire Strikes Back in the snow, various other things. I mean, there's so many pictures of him working on Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan and a whole load of other things. But I thought Stars and Wars, his book is still available. That's worth getting. I've got a signed copy of that. So Alan Tompkins, so the sets that you see, that was all part of his stuff. And then the exterior of that castle, where you've got the scene where Costner runs with the horse escaping, that was actually filmed in France. At this castle, this famous castle with these blue turrets, which then Alan emulated for the set for the interior of the castle, which they weren't allowed to film in. So, but we did have to endure 10 weeks of Bryan Adams at #1.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, wasn't it 16 weeks? I think it was 16
It
weeks.
was, I think it's like in Guinness records or something for one of the longest that's stayed in the charts, and it was crazy long.
Yeah,
this is Daniel Peacock, who was actually queuing up to get his tickets for Labyrinth with David Bowie in the queue behind me when I went to see that film. I tell that story in Silver Screen Journeys, and he's a really, really, really nice guy. I had a massive crush on Mary around this time.
Oh yeah, she was cute back in the day, man.
Curly haired brunettes in the 80s was my taste of women at the time, and she had the curliest brunette-ish hair, going.
Yeah, she has that Nancy's frizz hair, doesn't she? That she can pull off so well.
this lad, Daniel Newman, who played the kid, he did a couple of other things on TV around this time, and I was really surprised. He's got a good little part in Holding On. He did this police drama series as well, and I was really surprised his career didn't take off, and he became, I wondered why he didn't become a massive actor. Do you know the story about why, Inside Man?
I do not.
Well, I'll tell you after we go off air. Michael Winnicott, of course, is the bad guy. Loved the set for this village that they built with the, rope ladders up to the trees and stuff. I wish they'd just left it there so we could have all gone back and had a play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is a great scene as well.
And keep the stitches small.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It was
a painted man. Oh my God, the painted man.
so yeah. Toxic, my room, 8:30. Stupenzo, 8:45. Yeah, that's the new version that's coming out.
You're gonna need longer than that with me, Lance.
Well, that's why I put Stupenzo first. So it's a good. Listen. This is a film you can whack on at any time.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's like Braveheart. It's like, you can whack it on. Yeah, quite. What can I watch? Oh yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Braveheart. There's maybe like 20 movies like that you can put on any time you're going to enjoy, and that you maybe haven't watched as much as Die Hard.
And it's got a great Sean Connery cameo right at the end.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, I give this film a solid 8.5 out of 10. Yeah. Ratings, gentlemen, please.
Definitely 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'd definitely give it a 9. It's just a great adventure movie. It really is.
Yeah,
I'd say
9 out of 10 for me.
8 or 9 out of 10. And if anyone cares, a lot of the molds for the action figures were cobbled from some Star Wars, some of the superhero figures, and even Batman. So they kind of reused parts to create some of the action figure bodies and toys.
No, new guy. Nobody cares. You wait until you're on the show 2 or 3 times before you start throwing trivia out there. Oh,
now you're very welcome to throw trivia out there. For that, Toxic gets put in the naughty box.
I'll just mute myself for the rest of the show.
You should.
I'm only kidding. Right. Okay. All good. So it is a great film. You know what? Just talking about it makes me want to watch it again. So
it does
good
me.
Choice.
Yeah.
Good choice, mate.
Can I ask real quick? When did they do all that stuff? You were the sanctioning on it that you're talking about, and is that only in certain genres?
So they cut down the running time of it because they wanted it to have more screenings in cinemas. So the chase sequence was cut out. Then when it went to video, they wanted the video because that was around the time when the video market had exploded, the sell-through market had exploded. That kind of exploded from like 89 onwards, and they really wanted it to have a low certificate rating. And this was around the time I think the 12 certificate came out. So they cut some of the violence to make sure, I think it either got PG or 12 on the video sales, so the video sales could be greater. But all of that stuff was all restored later for the anniversary edition. I was so annoyed when I bought it on VHS and they cut violence from it, including the comical moment on the grape scene. I was like, they totally made that scene more vicious by cutting that silly thing that Alan Rickman did that made it comical. So
that was James Furman, who was the head of the BBFC at the time, the British Board of Film Classification.
Right.
He was notorious for just literally arbitrarily finding something wrong with any movie that you could think of. It didn't matter how innocuous the scene might be. He would find something wrong with it because he could.
Stupenzo, what you got in terms of recommendations this week?
Did you guys watch Black Mirror?
Oh my God! Yeah. In fact,
people have been saying about that recently.
originally I said we were going to have that as the banner this week, and then I completely forgot about it. And,
Well,
for some reason we
I'll be brief about Black Mirror. I think everyone should watch it. It's better than the last season. The first episode is probably one of the best episodes of all the seasons. It's really good.
Oh, the one with
Common People. Yeah, that's a great one. The second episode
that was brutal.
Yeah, second episode
Really
was pretty
brutal.
good. Third episode was the low point and wasn't terrible, but pretty close to terrible. But fourth episode, another really, really good one about the throng. That was a great one. And then the fifth episode was decent, the Paul Giamatti one. And then the sixth episode was the Callister sequel, and that was adequate. Great sequel. But I did want to talk about a movie that was very Black Mirror-esque. It felt like a special extra episode.
Okay, before you get on to that, I want to comment on Black Mirror because you brought it up. What would you give the McAllister sequel episode out of 10?
I don't know, maybe like a 6, but if you watch the two of them back to back as one movie, like it's a solid 8. I mean, they're good. They're fun.
Yeah, I think watching them back to back is definitely recommended. I couldn't remember why oh my god, the name escapes me momentarily.
Christina, what's her name? Everyone loves her.
Melody?
No. I couldn't remember why the actress from I May Destroy You was not in the McAllister sequel. She's the one crew member who's missing from the bridge.
Yeah, she dies off screen in between the two episodes. The actress couldn't make the commitment for whatever reason, so they just did one of those. She went back to her home planet bullshit things between. Yeah, I was hoping to see her too. She's really good.
Oh right.
I missed that line. If there was a line about that,
yeah, they do a throwaway line.
Yeah,
they do a throwaway line. Yeah, because I was looking for her specifically because you said that you knew her, so I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna check that out. But, yeah.
No, I've never met her. What I said was we wanted her for one of the lead roles in the journey. We reached out to her. She wanted to do it, but she couldn't, and she wasn't as big as she is now. And much to my regret. Yeah, this first episode with Rashida Jones and Chris O'Dowd.
It was definitely a return to form, Black Mirror, because I love it because it's like, the best episodes are, first of all, the psychological ones, the ones that are not like so action or horror related. But this one's so good because it's like the technology is so minimal, everything else is pretty normal. But then they introduce one little, future tech thing that just throws everything out of whack. And it's just such a great, it was, and honestly, it was a little predictable, but in a good way, because you knew, oh my God, is this where it's going? And you realize like, yes, this is where it's going. And it gets more and more twisted. It's a great tragedy because, whenever the movie starts and everything's going great at the beginning, it's going to just turn into a nightmare.
But can I say real quick, but not unbelievably great.
No.
It was like this couple, right? And like not everything was perfect. Not they were just blue collar happy people, and it like
wonderful,
very believable. Like, and he's not a super stud. He's not. I mean, she's gorgeous. Let's just be honest. But I mean, she's not. They kind of.
No, but they're common people, like the title suggests.
Right, and the second episode was also really good, but the tech is just so outlandish. It's practically like magic, but it's still fun. It's a good episode. And then the third episode, this one was this is the it wasn't terrible though, because it is. I do like this idea. I've been talking about pre-makes, like the idea of like we see it all the time with the AI, where it's like, oh, if Mortal Kombat movie was made in the 60s, or whatever.
Yeah.
The idea with the AI is like, you can have movies made with past cast, or to put a current actor in an old movie was what.
They have a YouTube channel that just does all of that. Yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting idea, especially if it's probably going to happen at some point.
Yeah, but overall, it was just a kind of it reminded me of the Heaven episode, with the two girls in love in heaven, it was just kind of that again.
Well, they Easter egg that a lot with the juniper.
San Junipero.
That's what it's called. San Junipero. Yeah.
But
Which
one's your favorite?
Definitely
Yeah,
episode
it's a
one.
great
This
episode.
this episode was, although it was very, very gripping and very entertaining, was my least favorite because I just thought this is bollocks.
Yeah, well, that's why I said the technology, the big twist of what it was, because you're like, the setup's great. You're like, what's happening? It's like Mandela effect thing happening.
The setup's great.
But then the tech reveal is like I said, borderline sorcery.
Yeah.
But I like the first one episode a lot. And if I had to recommend another one, the Bandersnatch sequel, which was episode 4, The Throng. The one about the Throng, that one was so cool.
See,
And
I didn't know that was a sequel until someone else said it.
Yeah, because if you saw the Bandersnatch movie, it's like a loose sequel. You don't need to watch Bandersnatch to get it,
Okay.
but it's like it takes place 10 years after the events of Bandersnatch in the same video game company in 1994. And then again, I guess it takes place 20-something, 30-something years later. But this is an episode I want another sequel for. I want a sequel for the Throng episode. I want to know what happens next. It was so cool, but it could end right there and leave it open. But that was a really cool one. This episode, the 5th episode, was a little sentimental.
I liked it.
It was
I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I liked
it. And then the
this
6th
one,
episode.
this one actually upset me and made me like super sad.
Oh, yeah, it's a sad episode.
I'm okay now. Yeah.
It's a sad one, but and again, it's like a minimal tech stuff going on. So but yeah, I definitely like the horror story episodes, and this is why episode 1 is not only the best of the season by far, but it's like one of the best episodes ever. It really is a great one. And then overall an excellent season. Season 6 was underwhelming. Season 5 was good, but there's only 3 episodes. Plus the movie, but season 4 was like the last really good season we had, and I understand like it's kind of twisted since the Americans take it over, but there's a couple good British episodes that are fun. The Throng episode was British, and then the 2nd episode was British. Those are fun.
Just a quick point. I mean, Lance will know exactly who I'm talking about. The San Junipero episode,
right?
That was written by, believe it or not, a children's TV presenter called Connie Huck, who used to present Blue Peter, a long-running children's TV show.
Oh yeah, I remember her, man. She's,
she's married to Charlie Brooker, so that figures.
Well, like I said, there is like a secret 7th episode, if you will. I watched this movie called The Assessment, which I was kind of excited for, and it was good. It was real good. It was kind of minimal. It reminded me of The Front Room a little bit, which I recommended last year. But this is just a solid movie with just a few actors in a.
It reminded me of Vivarium, kind of.
Yeah, The Assessment. You watched that one?
I did.
It was cool. First of all, even if you don't like it, Elizabeth Olsen is pretty much walking around the whole movie with no bra and hard nips, pretty much the whole movie, which is awesome. But yeah, Alicia Vikander,
not a priority for me. I have to say,
don't lie. She's a fantastic actress in this one. I think both the females are fantastic. The guy, he's okay, but the plot's fantastic. It's very Black Mirror-y. It's like in a future where the climate change has happened, and we were all basically culling all of our pets, and we limit who has babies. You have to go under this like rigorous assessment process to see if you're qualified for parenthood, and it is so
not set in China,
twisted. No. In fact, they don't really explain where they say they're in some kind of dome, and then there's the old world, the outworld, which is like a barren wasteland. And these people are like scientists who work, they contribute to society, and they're trying to get a child, and Alicia Vikander is their assessor, and it is just great, like psychological torture, manipulation, what have you, pushing the limits, of just pushing their buttons and seeing if they can fail. If they fail, that's it, it's over, and they can never reapply, and then there's a great ending. It's a big twist that's pretty awesome. It's a fun movie. I definitely recommend it.
All right. What would you give it out of 10?
I'd give it a solid like 7.5. It was fun. It's very, like I said, minimal, low budget. You see little glimpses here and there of like the future world. They don't show you cool like computer animated cityscapes of the future or whatever. It's just very hyper focused, on a small kind of little section of this world, and it's great, like world building, and fun, like trippy stuff. A lot of trippy stuff.
Sounds good. I wanna check that out. So yeah, okay. Anyone else seen it? Want to give it a rating out of 10?
I'd give it a solid 7. It's like I said, it's sort of Vivarium-ish. If you've seen that, I don't want to give too much.
I have seen Vivarium. Yeah, that was
okay. So
it's a movie.
It's like that kind of, but it's interesting. It could be a if it was shorter, it could be a Black Mirror
episode. And maybe it didn't take place in such a like outlandish future, But it is on the vibe. Like if you watched a Black Mirror and this movie, like kind of all in one go, like it fit right in.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
All right.
I wanted to throw in really quick, 'cause I know that some of you guys hate trivia, but without spoilers, during that 6th episode of the USS Callister, during the space battle, you can not only hear someone yell Leroy Jenkins, there's also the Wilhelm scream.
Of course. Hell yeah. I did catch that, Leroy.
Yeah. That was like just blended into the engines. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's great.
Well, Critter, I was just coming to you. Do you have a film or a TV show you want to recommend to us this week?
Well, okay. Yes, I do. Well, 2 of them, and I'll be very quick because I don't think this group is really into kids animation or cartoon stuff.
Oh, so hold your horses, sir. We are very much into animation.
Look, listen, I don't know how many of you guys have kids and what their ages are.
And also, don't worry about what the group's onto. Just say your piece. Give us the first one. What is it?
All right, first one was I watched I started watching it, bailed on it, went back and gave it another view, and really enjoyed it. The Day the Earth Blew Up.
It's great.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed it.
No worries.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes one. So I won't spend time on that because we did cover it last week.
I just want to throw that out there for the guys that like animation. Like, and I'll admit, I was like 20 minutes in. I'm like, I'm not enjoying this, and it might have been my mental state or whatever. So I went back and watched it again, and even my the 2 kids got into it, and they were really enjoying it. And
what would you give it out of 10?
I'd say 8. It really is a great throwback to the ridiculousness of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, even early 70s style. And apparently, the whole thing is hand animation. There's no computer work.
It's better than Space Jam. I don't know. I never really.
Oh yeah. I agree with that. And the other one I want to throw out there was Night of the Zoopocalypse.
I want to see this one.
Just came out. Clive Barker, I think, wrote it. Or inspired the story. I think he wrote it though, and there's even elements of John Carpenter's The Thing. And again, the 2 kids they got pulled in. They watched it twice. There's a couple of pretty decent laugh out loud stuff.
Give me the title again, please.
Night of the Zoopocalypse. The only I would say famous person that I caught from the cast was David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
And the Crimson.
Yeah, he's a great voice actor. He's been doing a lot of voiceover work lately.
Yeah.
And the style, I guess the character designs took me a few moments to get into. They almost look like they're Wallace and Gromit-esque.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. I thought it was kind of creepy, and you're not sure if the animals are being eaten or not. And it's kind of weird. It's a zombie thing, and I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It's on the hard drive for the kids to watch again. Yeah, there's
definitely see the influence of The Thing in that shot.
Yeah. These when they're infected, they can come apart and join other infected animals.
Cool.
So
yeah, you know what? I definitely want to see this now.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm up for that. That looks appropriately creepy. I'm just going to answer a question in the chat before this guy goes to bed, because he popped on my industry interview the other day, and I said I would answer this question then. Going to ask now, any advice on writing a script for a first timer? I'll watch the rest of the roundup tomorrow. So, I mean, first of all, there's a bit of ambiguity there. Depends, are you looking to write a script to market, to sell? In which case, I wrote a blog about that, which I'll drop the link for that blog in the chat. I mean, one of my jobs, one of my interconnected jobs, is that I assist people with their scripts, whether that's a breakdown or or a script writing session. I've done quite a few of these, in fact. So if you want to book me, by the way, for a session like that, then you can do that. So just reach out to me via my social media. You can find me easily on Twitter, and you can find me easily on Facebook. And I mean, it's something that you can actually book me for a session for that.
I think what's important is really for aspiring writers.
Yeah, go for it.
And I've had a very, very similar question myself. I mean, when I've been freelance script doctoring for almost 20 years now, and one of the things that I've always said to people is read scripts. Read them, learn a structure, learn how to structure a script. It's not something that you can take from a book.
Read scripts.
Read scripts. You have to. You'll never be able to write if you never read. If you read, you'll be able to write a script. If you read scripts, you learn the structure. You learn how to do all of the beats. You must do it. It's an essential part of script writing. I don't know a single script writer that doesn't read scripts or has never read scripts. And it's so important. It's so important because you have to learn this yourself. You have to learn this through osmosis. You absorb it. It's nothing that you can take from a book like Save the Cat, which I absolutely loathe. And I would absolutely advise anybody never, ever to use Save the Cat as their guide. But read scripts and listen to people who know better than you.
No, I say plagiarize from better movies and have ChatGPT write the bulk of it. That's what the modern writers are doing. Just steal from better movies.
I'm gonna veto that last comment as nonsense. But I mean, that's. I mean, hey, some people are probably making money by doing that. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, first of all, write about something that interests you. Write something that you would want to watch, that you would want to go and see.
Yeah.
Don't
write for the reader. Write for the reader. Don't write for anybody else apart from the reader.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, if you're going to make a film about an old man's journey into Belgian cheese making, it's probably going to have a fairly limited audience. But that said, the Inside Man's film, I Am Cheese, is coming out soon. Listen, I mean, and if you want me to talk to you about it more, you can book me for a session. My rates are pretty reasonable. Dave Savage has actually done that. I've done that with him for two different scripts, and we've talked about it. So I'm pretty sure that Electric actually he just went off just as we got into this for him, but he'll no doubt he'll come back and watch it. So good stuff. Toxic, you've got some stuff to recommend for us. We talked about Yellow Jackets last week. So do we need to cover that again?
Well, just real briefly, my concern was, and I did a video about this, is and I did a stream about it, that the penultimate episode wasn't very good and it was kind of meandering, but this actually, they tied it off really well in the season finale. Right. So even if it winds up being the series finale, which I hope it is not, they did really good. So yeah, I just wanted to say that on that. Damn it. Hang on. Sorry about that.
All right. Okay. You've also got whatever this is.
Yeah,
this is this is Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered that.
Yeah, we covered it. And then I started Last of Us season 2, and
Revenge of the Okay.
It's pretty good.
What platform is this on?
HBO Max.
Oh, okay. Rawr. Yeah.
Unless you have a Plex Pass like I do. So
yeah. Okay. Cool. I've definitely got a Plex Pass probably. So Last of Us season 2 is out.
Yep.
How much of it have you seen?
Well, all that there is, which is
the one episode.
Yeah.
Oh, is it dropping weekly?
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, they did this last. Not last season. Last season back in 2022 or 3, whenever the first season aired. They do it week to week like that. I think that's pretty much how.
Don't spoil the plot of Inside Man's movie, honestly, man.
Yeah,
I think that's how do a deep dive on that cheese.
Yeah, deep dive into the Gouda. But yeah, no. So
Revenge.
it's pretty good. I mean, there's listen, there's a big hatred for this show from all the people that wanked off to the game and spent like their entire savings putting in mods and all that kind of stuff, and we're just like, wait till season 2 comes out, no one's gonna like it because there's really bad things gonna happen to this main character. Meh. And I'm just like, listen, dude, it's just a good show. I will say it didn't happen so much in season 1 because she was so much younger, and you kind of gave her a little grace with it. But the girl that plays Ellie is
Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey. She's really struggling this, and what makes it worse is they've added to the cast so that you don't just have the people from the first season. You got 2 main characters have come in, played by Isabella Marsad and Weaver. Caitlin Weaver is going to play the antagonist.
Listen, I like Bella Ramsey. I remember when me and my ex-partner were watching Game of Thrones, and she turned up on that, and I said to my ex-partner, "Who's that kid? That kid is, it's a child actor, but hey, I mean, they're holding their own in these scenes."
No, she did in Game of Thrones.
These big players. And so what happened was some stupid casting director had that same conversation and said, "I know, I'm going to put her in an absolutely massive role."
Right.
She needed to do a bit more theater. She needed to do some more guest roles. She needed to do some more variety before she got thrown in the deep end in a role like that. I just didn't think she had the history yet to carry this kind of role, and I think she is miscast in that part. I have to say.
A lot of people have said, the young lady that played in the new Aliens movie, Kaylee Spaney, would have been a much better choice.
She would have been good. Yeah, I agree.
I am not a Bella Ramsey hater. I think
no, I'm not. I want to be really clear about that. I'm not hating on her. I think she's a very talented actress. I just think she was probably, it was a bit of a poison.
Agreed. And also, she's I mean, I hate to say anything really disparaging because she's just a kid, but she has really fallen into the woke soup, and it's like, I'm this and I'm that. Like, these are my pronouns, and I'm so glad I'm autistic because it makes this show easier to be. I'm like, dude, stop. No one cares about your personal issues and stuff like just play the role. And what's worse is they brought on these 2 stunning and really good actresses. I mean, like, they are top tier level, especially Caitlin Dever. If anyone doesn't know,
I love Caitlin Dever. She's great in everything.
She has like a minute and a half in the pilot episode, or well, I guess not pilot, in the first episode of the second season
opener of season 2,
and she just smolders through the screen. Like, you're like, holy. And so her playing when they're going to share screen time, and when they're going to, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it's really early to tell, but Bella better really step her game up, because just a minute and a half of Caitlin Dever just blows her weight. And then of course you have the love interest played by Dina, played by Isabella Merced, and she's great too. She's very believable, very likable. And a lot of interesting stuff going on. Like, I never played this game, so I wasn't all butthurt that they didn't.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, so I take things as they come. So if it's a good show, it's a good show. I mean, if you're in love with the game and you spent 756 hours playing it, don't watch this because it's just gonna make you mad. So, but if you didn't and you like season 1, I think this is I'm giving high marks for this so far. I think it's worth paying attention to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's Last of Us. Did you have anything else? Was that it?
I mean, I thought that the Callister episode was the best of the Black Mirror stuff for this season. I think
it was the most. I don't know if it was the best, but I think it was the most enjoyable because it was really good fun to spend time with those characters. And the actor who plays the Asian lad on the bridge, Paul, he's a friend of mine.
Really?
I met him doing stand-up comedy.
He's great.
A comedy show. Him, and he does a bit of a double act with this kid called Luke Manning. And a long time ago, I did say to him, "Listen, I'd be quite happy to devote the energy doing a short with you guys."
Mm-hmm.
And I offered them that twice, and sort of twice they kind of dithered, and I moved on to other projects. But I would work with him in a heartbeat. Paul Raymond, his name is.
Okay.
And Paul J.L. Raymond or something like that. But he's a really, really good actor. He's got incredible range, and he's got that great face. You know, and it's great that he's going to get loads of exposure through that.
Yeah.
That episode.
Can I ask real quickly, what was your favorite Black Mirror episode of this season so far? Maybe everybody. What's your favorite one?
First one.
Okay.
My I have to say, actually, and I know this is going to be really controversial, but my favorite one was the one set on the movie set, because
Well, it's because you like old timey movies.
I do like old movies,
I don't see that being very
it was more about the issue that it explored, and the fact that I'm a filmmaker, and the fact that this technology is literally just years, if not months away. And you know, and I like Issa Rae, actually, and it was an interesting role for her. It challenged her a little bit, and I was quite glad to see her in something a little bit out of her comfort zone. Yeah. And I thought that even though, you know, okay, we're box ticking and that let's have a lesbian love story in this, I actually thought that the story was believable. It had a really interesting narrative, and the bit where, you know, she realized the whole thing was going to be deleted, and all those emotions were suddenly going to be left for her to deal with alone, was actually really fucking heartbreaking. I was
agreed. There's a lot of heartbreaking episodes in this season. Like a lot of it is. Yeah, go ahead.
My problem with the third episode was I just wanted like at least one little thing at the end where it's like, the original was better. Don't mess with the originals, you know, like.
Yeah, I did want that message in the movie.
Instead, it was like, no, the new version's better. You know, it's like, no, that should have been the message. Was like, this is fun, but it's not going to be as good as the movie.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I gotta bow out real quick. I got something going on. So thanks for having me, and I'll talk to you later.
The house on fire.
See you, mate.
So Toxic's girlfriend has just come home.
Oh my god!
So
can I recommend one more thing that was really
no, we're not out of time, man. So I was going to go round again quickly, because I think Inside Man's got another one, and probably Northern as well. But go for it, mate. Go for it.
Dude, The Rule of Jenny Penn was awesome.
The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Yes. Okay. So Jeffrey Rush is in a retirement home, old folks home, and John Lithgow is one of the people there, and he is an insane person who tortures all the residents there.
We covered it last week.
Okay, good. Did I talk about it last week?
We covered it last week. We talked about it at length last week.
My bad.
Yeah.
Brain fart.
So, Northern, did you have a second one, real quick?
Yes, Office Space. Mike Judge is.
Mate, that's not a quick conversation. I absolutely love this film. I've been meaning to do a chew the fat on it for some time. It's a fantastic movie. It's one of Jennifer Aniston's best performances outside of Friends, I would argue, as well.
Peak Jennifer Aniston, and it's a very good sort of like swipe at the idiocy of corporate jobs, and just how it sort of like.
You better pick up that TP reports.
Yeah, no, it's like I was just about to do them. Okay, I just kind of forgot, you know.
How about if I wear 40 pieces of flair? Is that enough flair?
Yeah. There's so many great moments. I mean, it's like if they think by Deep Blue, I'm just going to put the police down. Every character is very memorable.
It's a really funny movie that actually gets better with repeated viewings.
At the time that this film came out, I was working as an office manager in Chicago, and the amount of red staplers that people wanted me to order for them was ridiculous.
Because of this movie.
Yeah. And they were a little bit more expensive than the standard Swingline black staplers. I think Swingline knew, and I think they raised the prices of their red staplers for a few months.
Supply and demand, bro.
Yeah.
Gary Cole is brilliant in this.
Yeah, he's just this very sort of like very inferior character. Who's like he's not very charismatic. He's not very he's very squirrely, like he's described, and I just loved the little bit at the end where he's on the beach and he says he's going to end up doing something really bad as well, because he's going to do it. He's going to do it after all those scenes he's been seeing. I'm going to burn the place down, and he eventually does. Yeah,
that's Stephen Root's character who's on screen now. Gary Cole plays the office manager.
John C. McGinley as well as one of the heartless corporate above their heads kind of guys who do
I love John C. McGinley. I'd love to get him on for an interview. Gary Cole's like, I'm gonna have to ask you to come in on Saturday.
He's so smug. He's just so punchable, and you can tell he's having fun playing this role. I love Gary Cole. He's always good. This guy.
These scenes are great. I love it when he goes in for his assessment and he just doesn't.
So what would you say you do here?
I talk to the customers.
My jump to conclusions, Matt.
I got people skills.
Yeah.
Hey, does anyone ever tell you it sounds like you got a case of the Monday?
Oh,
no,
God.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Shit now, man. I think you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Yeah, I love the repeated viewing of the woman across the desk who just says, like, how are you speaking? Does that usual greeting with every phone call. And he's even hearing it in his head when he's trying to sleep. It's
there's a bit where Dilbert doesn't get any cake.
Right,
and it's all like passed around and
Milton,
Milton.
I'd tell you, he's like, what do you say? I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, and he's just laughing, and he's like looking at him like stone cold serious, like, I am not joking. He's like, that's it.
And he's always pretending like he can't hear him through the really paper thin walls they've got between their apartments.
I love the bit where the whole scam has gone wrong, and they're trying to figure out what their next move is, and Diedrich Bader's like, don't involve me, man. I don't want you fucking up my life too.
Yeah. When they get the guy Orlando Jones who's selling magazines or whatever.
It's like about the full.
They're asking him for help.
So he doesn't talk.
I'm surprised we didn't see more of this actor David Herman on the right. I'm going to guess that he probably went and did some kind of big TV show.
He's in some stuff.
Michael Bolton.
This movie is great because it is filmed in Austin, because that's where the Dell computer centers and all the tech places were. And, like that, I-35, that freeway all the way up to the north side to Round Rock and Leander and all those areas. That's what it's like, dude. Bumper to bumper. It's insane. It's stupid. I don't know, man. Also, it seems like David Herman has been doing a lot of voice work lately, so that's cool.
He's got 101 acting credits, and his main voice role is on The Great North. 54 episodes between 21 and 25. I've seen a couple of episodes of this show, by the way, and I can highly recommend it. It's really good.
It's fun, but it is very.
I tried watching this a couple of times, but I didn't.
It isn't very Bob's Burgers like clone, not a bad way, but same creators, and it's like obviously they're going to do a crossover episode. I'm sure of it one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Bob's Burgers, you'll like this. If you don't like
Bob's Burgers,
then. But I like Bob's Burgers. He's also done voices on American Dad, Bob's Burgers, 163.
A lot of Futurama stuff. He's scruffy. He's scruffy. Oh my God.
He's never gonna know how he lived.
So I mean, he's clearly. That's why we haven't seen him a lot, because he's been doing basically voiceover work on loads of shows. Paradise PD. That was a weird one. I kind of watched a few episodes of that.
I'll give credit. That show goes really out of its way to be fucking gruesome and
voiced for radio.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just didn't find it that funny. This show. Did you guys like it?
No.
Yeah, it's just not. I don't know. Somehow South Park can do this kind of gross out humor and do it really clever and satirical. But
I mean, sometimes stuff just comes off as try hard.
I've rewatched a few older South Park episodes, and they're even more brilliant now than they were when they came out.
Cannot wait for the next season. It's going to be crazy. It really is
wild.
Yeah, because they've got they've got a lot of things to choose from with so much stuff going on in the world. So
I know they do their episodes within a week. I mean, they look at what thing is happening, get writing, animate it, and they do it in less than a week before
they do.
air.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Inside Man, did you have a second recommendation, mate?
I think he's gonna be back in 5.
Oh, is he? Okay, I'll do my last one. Well, actually, before I do my last one, Mobland we talked about last week, but we don't. I think most of us only watched one episode. There are now 3 episodes of Mobland out. I watched the 3rd episode today. Have to say that because it was all kind of this is looking pretty good. Is it going to stay consistent? Is this going to be the next big gangster show? I have to say, so far, I'm loving this show. Really loving this show. Episode 3 for me is a 9 out of 10. Northern, are you up to speed on it? Are you up to episode 3?
No, I'm not. I'm at. Christ, I almost forgot about this as well. I'm going to try and catch up with it because I am actually enjoying it, and it does seem like it's got some very competent writing. There's no girl bossing so far. Yeah, we got Helen Mirren being kind of this very tough old lady. Who,
she wears the trousers in that family, but it's the way it's done.
But we still see Pierce Brosnan sort of assert himself with her. So I'll give it credit for that. But it does look like it did reach a very gruesome conclusion at the end of the 2nd episode, and I need to really do catch up on it. But I love Tom Hardy in it, though. I mean, this guy is. I would not fuck with this guy. He's a fucking nutcase, and he seems to handle himself.
One of the things I forgot to mention, maybe I did mention it, but one of the actors from my acting class, Shaz, is in this episode. You know the scene where you've got the argument between the 2 warring families. They're kind of Turkish, one Turkish and Bulgarian or something. And they're trying to get them to agree to a peace, and Tom Hardy has to go back and say they're not gonna, they're gonna go to war. He's playing one of the gangsters in that scene, and he credits me with getting him that part from my acting classes with him. So
you mentioned that as well.
Yeah, so he wrote to me actually, because do you know what? I didn't even recognize him when I was watching it, and then I watched it back, and I was like, my God, that's Shaz. That's Shaz in that. I'll see if I can find him on the acting credits if he's got a headshot up on IMDb yet. And he's done a couple of plays, and he did the post office play with me. He played the IT, the guy who works for Fujitsu, who basically whistleblows on all the shit that's going on. So he's right at the beginning of his acting career, but he's got a couple of prestigious credits. There he is, Shazad Ali, nightclub guy. And he's done a few bits. But it's great to see that he's got work coming in, albeit small parts and bit parts and whatnot. But I'm really pleased for him. Really made up for him, and he's a member of the Outcast Creative, the original Outcast Creative, which was the acting class. So that's where the name comes from. So always good to see them doing well. The other thing that I've been watching while I've been working, I've had it on in the background while I've been working today, is this old favorite, Joe 90. What a great show. But what's really funny about this, I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's one of Jerry Anderson's early shows. I think it's the one he did after Thunderbirds or just before Thunderbirds, maybe. Forget which way round they came. I think this was after Thunderbirds because this had the more realistic puppets, right? So, but it's quite funny when you watch the pilot episode. The premise of the show is that basically this guy has invented a machine that can transport people's brain patterns, store them on a computer, and then transport those brain patterns to somebody else. So we could store Inside Man's knowledge, put it on a computer. I could then go into the Kenwood mixer thing, put my headphones on, and I would learn from that knowledge when Inside Man is taking me out for lunch next week, because of course that's very much at the forefront of his mind right now. So that information would be imparted to me, So in the same context, this kid can get, given the brain patterns of military tank drivers, astronauts, even pianists, and he has all those skills. What's really not properly explored in the show is the serious kind of child abuse implications that this would have. I mean, even though this is a children's show, right? This show would never get made today because of all the stuff that's kind of come out, and the kid's an orphan, so he's not even really the real son of the scientist who's kind of adopted him and is now sending him on extremely dangerous secret missions around the world. I mean, the kid's up for it, but one of the things that was interesting is that the actor, I think his name is might be Joe Cole, but I'll need to double check. The actor that voiced Joe is still alive. He's in his 70s now. And he quit acting not that long after this, and I thought, I've got to track him down and get him on. So I'm on a mission to try and find him at the moment. Inside Man, do you want to comment about this show?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I remember this very, very fondly. One of the things I always wanted when I was a kid was a chair surrounded by a giant egg whisk like this. It's a terrific show. I mean, it has, I mean, much like yourself, I'm very much into music, and it has one of Barry Gray's signature scores in this.
Amazing
fantastic
score.
Music, but a great theme tune. I love this. I love this show. I mean, this is, along with Thunderbirds, just reminds me of being a kid again, and it literally just drags me straight the way back. Being an 8-year-old kid watching this is brilliant. And I think I still got it. I think I still have Joe's car.
The car. Well, technically the dad's car.
Yeah.
The one that converted to you had the things that slot out the back, and it kind of the wings come out, and
yeah.
I've seen about the first 10 episodes because I'm convinced there's probably an episode or two of this that I've never seen because I never owned it on DVD. I had about 3 of them on VHS, so it was either 2 or 3 episodes per tape or something. Or it might have been 4. I can't remember. But I didn't have the whole collection, and I was very young when it was on, so I just have a feeling that there might have been an episode that I missed. I've got a miniature of this truck. Release. I have this, and this is my favorite episode of the ones I can remember, where they're carrying the trucks, and you've got the other guy in the other truck and trying to make it over the mountain range or something, and if the trucks go a certain height, the stuff will explode. And it's a really great episode. I really love it.
Amazing work by Derek Meddings.
The miniature work in this show is amazing. Incredible.
I was fortunate to have worked with Derek Meddings on a couple of things way back. And what an incredibly imaginative and skillful craftsman he was. And I had, having worked on Space Precinct, I had dinner with Jerry Anderson and his lovely wife. And
that would have been his second wife at the time, I imagine.
It wasn't Sylvia. And we had dinner on the Space Precinct set. So it was big, actually on the set over at Pinewood. So we had all of the cast, and Jerry was there, and of course I was sat at his table, and I thought, right, okay, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to arse lick this guy. He's like one of my childhood heroes. So I thought, no, you mustn't say anything about anything that he's done. And the first words that came out of my mouth was, "Oh, I'm a massive fan, and I love everything you've ever done." And I thought, utter dick. And I could hear myself saying it, but I couldn't control the words coming out of my mouth. And he just sort of looked at me and said, "Yes, that's what everybody says." Yeah.
The Space Precinct toys, they brought out the main ship, I used to have this Captain Scarlet aircraft carrier thing, by the way, with about 9 of those aircraft, and I gave it to the kid that lived next door to me in Highgate. I know. Yeah, well, I was clearing out and I didn't have enough space.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, but that Space Precinct thing, they didn't. The run of those was not very big. They're worth an absolute fortune now.
Yeah. I've got some of the the banknotes from the Snake episode, and I've still got some of my designs as well. Some of my doodles and everything that we use for some of the creature work. So yeah, I've actually got quite a bit. I think I might have some crew gear and other bits and pieces looking around somewhere. But I've got a stack of the notes from the Snake episode.
Funnily enough, Paul's actually asked what we think of it. We're talking about it right now. Appreciate the Liverpool song there, mate. We talked about Hillsborough right at the beginning of the stream. If you want to go back and watch that, about the first 15 minutes. Inside Man, did you have a final pick for us tonight?
I did not, and there was a reason for that.
You just had the one.
I just had the one. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've kind of been, quite busy. I'll tell you all about that later. But
Right.
yeah, so it really was just the one. I didn't have time to cram anything else in. So
There you go. There's another shot of that, and those are the figures that came out. I do remember the Snake guy. That was one of the best episodes. So yeah, if you can get your hands on one of them, that's worth a few pennies. All right, we're going to wrap it up there then. I just want to thank my panelists for coming on, especially Critter Kingsford. Welcome to the Nielsen ratings for the first time.
Thank you so much.
Also, my regulars, Stupenzo, Northern English Bastard, Toxic, who's disappeared, and of course, the Inside Man. We are going to be back now. I've got a couple of pending industry interviews coming up. I got to talk to one of the godfathers of the British rave scene the other week. That interview's gone pretty big and was great. And he hasn't done a lot of interviews. So that was with Graham Gold. That's up on the channel elsewhere. There's a couple of people who've got small projects coming up. I've got an actor who's got a play on in London towards the beginning of May. So we're going to be getting him on about a week before to plug his show and talk about his show, which is exactly the sort of thing that this channel is here to support. It's not just about getting the big guests on. If you're I don't want to use the word little creative because that sounds patronizing.
That's me.
But if you're someone who's more at the beginning of their journey, who doesn't have a big PR campaign behind them, but could do with a bit of a plug for your stuff, that's exactly the sort of thing we're here to support. I think, Critter, you're coming on to talk about your book, aren't you, at some point? Is that right?
No, I don't have a book, but thank you.
Oh, was that not you? Sorry, listen, I've got so many requests at the minute. I am getting a bit.
No, sir. I just had the YouTube channel with action figure and bad sci-fi parodies using old footage and my friends and family in costumes and even my kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to put the link for that in the chat?
I will do that very quickly.
Just put a comment in the chat, mate, so I can turn you into a mod, and then you can put the link in for your channel because I haven't got it written down. Rachel Percy Art is coming on soon to talk about her artwork. Stupenzo, do we have the thumbnail?
Yeah. Send it to you.
You sent it to me already?
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's creative. Yeah. So
did Rachel... I did not. Shit, here it is. It's right here. I'll send it to you right now. I meant to. Where is it? Saved pictures. Here we go. There it is. All right, there.
Yeah, Jamie, get you on to talk about that, mate. No problem. Reach out to me, care of the Outcast Creative on Facebook, or you can Lance Steen Anthony Nielsen Facebook or Lance Nielsen WD on Twitter. Rachel Percy Art. We're going to be getting Rachel on to talk about her artwork, which you can also purchase That's going to happen before the end of April. I've just got to firm up a date with Rachel. As soon as we've got that time slot, Rachel, you're going to be coming on. So Rachel, here is the poster for you already. So yeah, there you go. We've already done the poster. So Rachel, you're coming on for an industry interview. How do you like that poster, Rach? Jamie, have you got any kind of link online where we can check out anything about your TV series pilot? If there's any links or stuff like that, make sure you include that in an email or a contact message to me so I can review the stuff. But as long as there's something we can see, there you go. See, look, we're in tune with you, Rachel, because she says that's the one I would have picked. Fantastic. And this is Rachel's real hair color in real life. You've got about 90 colors in her hair. So yeah, Rachel Percy Art, one of the people in our chat, a starving artist. Starving artists are who we're here to support, so more than happy to get you on. If you are a creative and you're watching, spread the word, get other creative people to support the channel by subscribing to the channel. The bigger the channel gets, the bigger the support we can give you, and that's what I really want to do. So spread the word, people, spread the word. Yeah, we'll get back to you. All right.
Just quickly, Lance, can I just ask you where we might be able to see some of Rachel's artwork at the moment?
Yeah, we've shown it several times on the channel, in fact, on this show. But yeah, I mean, so if you put Rachel Percy Art into Google, you will get several links up for her. She's got an Instagram and stuff like that. But there's one particular connection. Obviously, we'll have all these links up when we get Rachel on, where you can see quite a few of her artwork that you can order and stuff like that. So yeah, here we go. I've got the link for you here. I'll share it quickly. Oh wait, I think no. Sorry, this is a different one. Where's the main? Here we go. I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. So if you go to, she's on a thing called artpower.com. I'm going to drop that link in the chat right now. So if you go,
if she's still in the chat watching, I'd just like to know whether she takes commissions at all.
So Rachel, I think she does. I'm 90% sure she does take commissions. So let me take that down for a second and I'll share. Yeah, maybe you weren't on when we shared her stuff before, mate. I don't know. So this is some of her art. She does like a lot of fantasy covers, Martian landscapes, things of that nature. So I really like a lot of it. Obviously she's a cat person, can't have everything, but there's do you know what, Rachel, actually Adele, this DJ, she is nuts about cats and I want to get her a present for Halloween. So actually a print of this would be great, but I want you to sign it though. So yeah, Adele Andea is a massive cat person. I've done an interview with her on the channel. She's here you go. Then here we go. Dogs. There we go. That's better.
Dogs and hats.
Yeah, dogs and cowboy hats. That's what we want. So there you go. She does take commissions, Inside Man. So you know, I know you always wanted that pink Martian mutant giraffe. Now's your chance.
Yeah.
To get that commission. Yeah. Here's my country retreat. I wish. Yeah. So yeah, some great stuff here. Yeah, I did say this looks remarkably like my ex-wife in this picture. Yeah, so really great, but very talented. Very talented. All right. So All Cats with Cocktails is a scary video. I'll take your word for it, mate. So yeah, did you put a comment in the chat, Critter?
Yeah, I finally unboomered it and got the actual link.
But I need you to put a comment in the chat of this stream so I can turn you into a moderator.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, there
Where?
I am.
I can't see it. Where?
He posted his YouTube page.
Oh, right. Is that under Jamalama? No, that's not right. No, that's Jammer's.
Yeah.
Jammer's one of my other people.
It's under Jamma. You're right.
Under Jammer.
Critter Kingsford.
Right.
I'm not seeing it.
It's there. Critter Kingsford. It's just above. It's below Jamalama and above Drew Gordon.
I'm just
literally.
Well, I can
Four
do it
chats
again.
up.
I feel stupid.
Just
doing
send
it
something
for-
else.
Okay, that's. I'll tell you what. It's so weird, but I can't see it on my chat
Just
screen.
say hello. No, try sending
Okay,
something
now
else besides the. Oh, okay. You got it.
Yeah, I've got it now.
Wow.
No, hang on. That's still not coming up on the. I've got it in here, but it's not coming up on the actual stream.
No. Well, just say hello because maybe
that
you
mean
can't
he's-
send links.
Does that mean he's banned?
No, he can't send links probably.
No, I know he can't
Just-
send.
just
Yeah,
say
no,
one
that's
word,
what.
Critter.
No, yeah, don't post the
There you
link.
go.
I wanted you. Yeah, there you
He's got
go. I just said say a comment in the thing so I can add you as a mod.
All right.
I'm flustered because I wasn't allowed to share trivia.
Right, okay, dude. You're now a moderator. No, don't listen to anything Toxic says. That's always a bad idea. So, right now, try posting your link. This is why I wasn't seeing it because I'm not looking at the same chat you're looking at. I'm looking at the chat that everybody can see. There you go, buddy. Right.
Look
So
at
if you
me.
want to check out Critter Kingsford's channel, the link for it is there in the chat. There's some very entertaining.
I have a wrench now. I see.
Yeah, there you go. You got power now, bud. So yeah, you can check that out. He's got some entertaining videos with live action figures and that kind of thing. So Stupenzo, anything you want to plug? And by the way, I caught your late night Monday show. I don't know if you noticed I was in the chat.
I did. I got monetized somehow. I don't know what happened. It's weird.
Well, I think I know what happened. I had the worst nightmare I've had in weeks. Woke up.
I did see
screaming.
that.
Yeah, I woke up screaming. That's why, and I went, "Oh God, I need to just. I can't go back to sleep again because I might have another one because they often happen like 3 or 4 at a time." So I thought, let me see what's on YouTube. I think somehow that intense nightmare somehow connected with the YouTube ether and monetized your channel.
It's pretty awesome. And then you
Yeah.
probably turned it on and we were watching someone vomiting, eating pastrami.
I don't know if I stayed with you. I think I was with you for
No.
about 20 minutes. So
Okay.
maybe I missed the vomit comment.
It was a fun
know.
time. And yeah, we've been having some fun. I think I'm going to stream again later tonight around 3.5 hours from now. I think we're going to watch the Ninja Turtles coming out of our shells live concert tour. The Ninja
Right.
Turtles did a concert back in the 1990s. It was fun. I was there.
Radical.
We'll watch that. Yeah, we're going to watch that. And then tomorrow I got a dinosaur movie coming out called Adventures in Dinosaur City. We're going to do a full-length commentary for that one. So that'll be fun. And other than that, yeah, just same old stuff. So yeah, come out later tonight since everyone's in Vegas. We'll be watching Ninja Turtles and some other fun stuff.
Why is everyone currently in Vegas?
There's a big meetup. Everyone, all the like.
Oh,
Drinker
there's a
and all-
YouTuber meetup.
Yeah, is Drinker down there? I don't know. The Geeks and Gamers, Friday Night Tights people are all down there.
Yeah, I
So,
don't
yeah.
think Drinker's there because he's on holiday with his family.
Leon,
in Florida.
Leon left today. I think Sammy's gonna go down there, and who else is down there? All the cannolis are going down there, and everybody.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll have to give that a miss at this time.
I'm not going either. That's why I'm gonna stay here and stream.
Indeed. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there. Sorry, Northern. Sorry, did you want to plug anything, mate? I have to apologise.
Nah, I think we can just wrap it up tonight. There's always plenty more I can recommend next time.
Okay. So, well, look. Thanks to my panel for coming on. Inside Man, I've got a message from our DOP. So if you want to hang on
Great.
after we go offline, I'll play it. All right. So that's it from us. I might be doing a stream this Sunday, but I think probably not because it's the Easter weekend. There's quite a lot going on. You never know. I might do something impulsive. But we'll be back next Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and there'll probably be an industry interview next week as well. Stay tuned to see who and when. That's it from us. Thanks to my panelists. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You've been fantastic tonight. We'll see you all again real soon.